Welcome to Profiletraders. This is Reza and you're listening to my market analysis for September the 1st. It hasn't been a very kind beginning of month of September, and it is not surprising at all if we look at this big picture chart to see exactly what happened. Well, we're going to bring a daily chart because it's going to be more visible. What we witnessed is that we got these 4 days of a very severe breakdown after several weeks of distribution at the top up there, and then we got a bounce that came in roughly from 1850 area, and a bounce that was only and purely Federal Reserve buying. And they even went as far as announcing the biggest farce that we have heard in the past several years, that while every other economy in the world is collapsing, we managed to grow at 3.7% last quarter. That added to a whole bunch of multiple hundreds of $millions of Madam Chairman buying the market. They managed to bounce it up towards 2000. But I very clearly told you on this push back up, if we do remain below 2000, we should see then a push further back down for either a retest or a break of this most recent low. And this is what we are in the process of doing. The Chinese economy is in a horrible condition, and almost on a daily basis it is crashing down. They are bringing all the money that they have invested in foreign investments back home, which is putting a lot of sell pressure on foreign assets, including the US Treasury. You add to that the fact that the Federal Reserve is also itself cornered in two ways. One, it is no longer able to attract foreign purchases of its treasury because at 0% nobody is willing to lend the United States money anymore. And two, they are dealing with the fact that if they take the rates higher, with a maximum record ever amount of consumer debt and a maximum record ever amount of corporate debt, they may literally collapse this economy into shred. So market knows that the Fed is now left without much of options in hand. There is not much they can do. Of course, here and there, the poor woman sits behind her computer and presses the buy button like a maniac, but no matter how much of a maniac that she is on the buy side, it is not going to change things. So now, market is at a very important junction point. Two things will happen here. One, we are coming down for a retest of this low. We either hold the low at a higher high, possibly around 1877, and then from this point on we rally back up. If this happens, I can more or less project a little bit what should be happening. So if this happens to hold around here, then it is very possible that on the next leg up we are going to go towards 2030, 2040, which is again an extreme strong sell. Anywhere, as I told you the last time during my recap, anywhere that we are going to touch this trend line, which is hooking this low to this low, it is an extreme sell. So that also comes up to right around 2020, 2030 area. Or the other scenario, we are going to come down, we are going to break this most recent low, and then if I have to make measurements on the downside by taking this leg of a drop that goes from 2100 to the low of 1831, and then project that distance from where we have started this new leg down, then it will call for a market for the market to terminate around 1730, which to me should be the more plausible situation and the more plausible scenario, because if you take all the lies, all the BS, fraudulent numbers that this desperate Federal Reserve and this desperate administration is releasing to save face, such as ridiculousness of a 5.4% unemployment when 100 million people is out of the job market, or a silliness of a 3.7% growth while the rest of the world is going to a hell basket. If you take these lies out of the picture and you adjust this market to the truth of a terrible and an extraordinary artificial economy that has been only kept alive by artificial Federal Reserve printing and spending, definitely market should come down towards 1750. Even if we come to 1750 or 1730, which I'm going to put a line on here, and then we're going to go look at on a weekly chart, you can see that it is nothing. It is nothing compared to what crazy man Ben Bernanke did over 6 or 7 years. So having gone up from 890 to 2100, and then you correct yourself to 1730, trust me that it is not going to be the end of the world. But it is absolutely necessary in order to reestablish balance into the market in terms of valuations. Right now, in my opinion, when I look at companies, a paper of Amazon at 500, paper of Google at 600, a paper of Priceline ridiculousness at 1200. I look at that Facebook $87. I look at that Tesla $238. It's just a joke. So that's where it looks like we are heading to, and it looks quite terrible again from a daily point of view. And this retest of the low will be very, very important. If they can save it at around 1850, another bounce is coming towards 2000, 2030, at which point it is a fabulous sell. If we do break it, then say hello to 1730. So that's what's going on with ES. And on the very short term, we can then look at the profile chart to find levels. As of right now, there is really no level that I can tell you worthwhile besides last night's 50% range at 1940, which is exactly where price stopped this morning. So as long as we remain below 1940, we should continue down. If we break above 1940, there is a big chance that we're gonna go delete these areas of single prints above us all the way to 1966 and then 2000. Now, as far as oil, another situation that was extremely comic, extraordinary comic, out of the blue, on absolutely nothing, no news, no fundamental change, no any war or anything like that. All of a sudden they created this absolutely unbelievable push to the upside, which I warned you was gonna happen when price went below $40. When price is below $40, the criminal oil sellers of this world will do whatever they can to bring price up, because it's a matter of livelihood. And I would not be surprised the same way that Russia can tap into Mr. Obama's cell phone to watch him take a leak and steal all our technology information, hack us, do whatever hell they want to do with us. I would not be surprised that they were also able to manipulate the market to bring it up to $50 in order to save their situation from a catastrophic below $40 oil. Whatever it was heavily manipulated. You do not go up from $38 to $50 in a matter of days based on hot air. Even though that the drop was severe enough that a bounce was due, but not this kind of savage bounce on the upside. So as soon as it reached 50, well, we already gave back roughly about 40-50% of the move, and today was very much so predictable of what was gonna happen, because yesterday, which was another terror attack on the upside, leaving behind a massive amount of single prints during yesterday's session. So today I told everybody to expect that all of this would be deleted, which is exactly what happened, and we did even more. So now we are again at very important level here. If we manage to break below 43.58, then we are going to go attack this profile here, and then we should drop straight around 41.82. At 41.82, it's absolutely no question an area where it could definitely bounce quite significantly. So if it gets down there, you want to use 41.80 against within that zone of 41.25. That should be a very interesting area of support. Meantime, meanwhile, 43.58 is minor support, and if this breaks, then this whole area down here between 43.58 to 41.82 is wide open to be visited. Again, extremely violent, extremely brutal market. You really have to pick up your levels extremely accurately, otherwise you get run over like a little mosquito hitting the windshield of a car. So again, be very cautious. It is a very unforgiving market. In terms of resistance up there, there is really no resistance before 46. As long as we remain below 46, downside move should continue. If we break above 46, then there is a possibility that we are going to go towards 46.8 to 47. And gold, the red-headed stepchild that nobody wants, is really not doing anything, which is actually not a bad thing to have something stable in the middle of a whole bunch of craziness. But when I look at the daily chart, I'm not extremely satisfied with it at all, because after this drop, now the push up is very labored. There is no upside drive, and I'm afraid that this is going to be a retracement of the last 1, 2, 3 day down, and then we should get down and have a breakdown out of a possible head and shoulder building itself, and then we could then again come for a test of 1100, at which point I believe it is going to be a fantastic support for gold. Meanwhile, there are 3 POCs that are downside target. 1133.7, 1122.9, and 1116.6. If they decide to break it down, it could definitely come down to touch these three POCs. On the way up, we have a POC at 1153. If we can clear through that, then price should be quite easy to go hit right about 1165, which is very close to the retest of the most recent top that we have seen right about here. So it is going to be a very interesting month. It is going to be a very volatile month, and we shall see what happens, with all eyes focused on the situation in China. Have a great day. This was Reza with Profiletraders. If you wish to learn my courses, get them all with 1 year to my trading room. You can get it from my website, $550 money back guaranteed for 30 days. Talk to you tomorrow.